Hello, students. Welcome back to your science class. In previous classes, we have been discussing your chapter number 12, Our Environment. And in this chapter, we had finished discussing about water pollution in the previous class. And along with that, we have also discussed about air pollution before that topic, right? Now, today we are going to move forward in our chapter, and we are going to understand about another type of pollution, which is your land pollution. All right, so we have already discussed that pollution means contamination or degradation in the quality of the natural resource. Right, now today we are going to discuss about land pollution. What is land pollution, what are the causes, what are the effects, and what can be done in order to prevent land pollution. These are the things that we are going to discuss in today's class. So firstly, we are going to learn, or we are going to understand, what is land pollution. So your land pollution, or also sometimes called as your soil pollution, it is the deterioration, or rather a degradation of Earth's land surfaces, either directly or indirectly, as the result of man's activity. So all the different types of pollution that we had discussed in the previous classes, there also we had found that it is the human activities rather than the natural sources which results in the degradation or in the change in the quality of the natural resource, right? Now when we discuss about land pollution, uh, there are no such natural causes as such, and it is mainly the human activities that is causing your land pollution. All right, so here we can see in the definition itself, it is mentioned that it is the deterioration, that means the degradation, or the uh, the quality is getting low, okay, of the earth's land surfaces. How? It is either directly or indirectly because of man's activity. So we people are doing a lot of things that is affecting the land, and it is degrading the quality of the soil, and thereby it is called your land pollution. So here are two pictures that are showing you how the land, how the soil is getting affected, how its quality is getting degraded day by day, and how we the people have contributed, or rather we have made this mess in our mother earth. Okay, now we are moving forward, and we are going to discuss about the causes of your land or the soil pollution. So what are the causes? What are the main factors that are leading to soil pollution or land pollution? So first and foremost, poor agricultural practices. So we have discussed about it in the about agricultural practices in your water pollution and air pollution as well, right? Here also the agricultural practices is also contributing to your land pollution. How we have discussed in the previous class also, that when the fertilizers, the pesticides and all are being sprayed on the plants, so what happens is that these fertilizers are not alone sitting on the plant, but it is also getting it is getting absorbed by the soil as well, or rather it is also uh, percolating through the soil and entering the water table. That is what we learned, right? So this is what happens. The fertilizers, the pesticides that are being sprayed, as you know, to increase the quality or to protect the plants or the crops, so that is also contributing towards your land pollution. The second factor is the improper solid waste management. The solid waste, the things that are coming out from our home, right? Those solid waste, by the term solid waste, we mean to say all the solid particles that is coming. Let's say the plastics are coming, the plastic bottles are coming, the wrappers, even the um, organic matters like the vegetables and all, which are the leftovers and all that is coming out from our kitchen. all these are included under your solid waste. Okay, so this solid waste is not managed properly. That is also another cause of your land pollution. It is not managed properly. It is thrown here and there, maybe on the roadside, maybe in a area which is like where there is a small land which is not used for any purpose. Over there it is just dumped. So all these things leads to your soil pollution. The third factor is unsafe storage of hazardous chemicals and nuclear waste. This means that the hazardous waste or the nuclear waste that we have, okay, the radioactive waste that we had discussed in the previous class in underwater pollution, and also the harmful chemicals which is uh, the waste coming out from the labs and all. So, or also the medical waste we are having. So these are, if not stored properly, okay, or it is not disposed properly, so in such case also it can lead to soil pollution. So uh, nearby the hospitals also, when we go, we see that the medical waste are thrown here and there. The syringes are lying here and there. The masks and all, nowadays masks you all are wearing, right? Everybody of us are wearing. So masks are thrown here and there. Even the gloves and all that is being used are like, some of the cows are chewing it on the roadside. So we see all these things happening. Like, why it is happening? Because there is no proper disposal of the items, and thus your land is all getting polluted, which is again resulting in other types of pollution as well. The third is leachate from mismanaged landfills. So what is happening here in case of landfills is that some of the particles which is dangerous, okay, so that is getting leached out. So because of that also your soil is getting polluted. And the last one, uncontrolled dumping of waste from households, industrial plants, mining. So these are also responsible. The waste that is coming out from our home is also getting disposed here and there. It is not thrown properly at a proper place. No plan of action is being done. Even the industrial plants, as we had seen in case of your soil pollution, sorry, in case of your air pollution and water pollution, that the industrial plants are throwing their waste just like that without treating it. Same happens with their solid waste also, that they are being the waste are being thrown like here and there in the land area without proper treatment, without proper management. And also mining, if extensive mining is being done, then the soil will obviously get like damage, right? So these are some of the factors or the causes of your soil pollution. Let's see them in little bit detail. Poor agricultural practices. So as we had discussed previously also, that what happens in case of your agricultural practices is that the farmers, they don't have, like, they are growing crops in the particular land area from a long period of time, and they have the challenge that they need to produce the same amount of crops every year, and the quality should also be good. Or rather we can say that if they will lose some of the crops due to infection by some insects or some pests and all, then they will have a heavy loss. So in order to prevent that, they usually apply the pesticides and along with that fertilizers to increase the fertility of the soil. Because if same crops are being grown, or if the same land is cultivated, used for cultivation for a long period of time, then obviously the soil is going to lose its fertility. All the minerals, all the essential minerals that is needed for the growth of the plant is obviously going to be finished over a long span of time. So in order to avoid that, the farmers, they are using fertilizers to grow their crops. So what happens is that because of addition of this fertilizers and pesticides in the soil, so this is damaging the soil over a long span of time. Okay, so more and more fertilization is being done of the soil using chemicals. chemical fertilizers and all, pesticides and all, so more the quality of soil is getting degraded. So salinization is being done, over application of fertilizer. You can see in this picture that shows you that when all those things are being done, then the soil gets acidified, there is loss of biodiversity, meaning the animals living in the soil is dying. So if the animals, or rather we can say the small insects and all, the microorganisms that is living there, all are dying because of the use of such fertilizers and all. So this causes the uh, contamination of the food also, because the biodiversity is being lost. The fertilizers are being added to the soil on a large amount, on a, or like over a long span of time, and that fertilizers are like it is getting in the food items also, thus it is very it is having a negative impact. So it is causing soil pollution as well as it is causing a negative impact on terms of the human life. So here are some pictures that are showing you the poor agricultural practices. The next one is your improper solid waste management. So from the pictures you can see that the solid waste are not managed properly. All the things are put together in a single dustbin, or rather it is thrown here and there. You can see the condition of this uh, particular area, where the street is there, where the walking passage is there, right, footpath is there, and the waste is dumped just like that here only, it is just lying there. So this can be seen in many of our neighborhood also, that the waste are just lying on the road. And because of this, because of such improper solid waste management, there are like foul smell coming out, right, from such garbages. Also lot of, like in some cases it may so happen that we like step on it and we may trip also, right. So many like problem arises. It is not just causing problem, or it is not just causing pollution of the land, but it is also leading to some accident. It can also lead to some accidents, major accidents as well. The first picture that you can see here, all the different types of waste are being dumped together. So this is not the proper way of like segregate, like dumping the waste, as we had discussed earlier also, that the proper waste management is not done, because of which we have to face a lot of issues. So that is about your improper solid waste management. The next one is your unsafe storage of hazardous chemicals and waste. So you can see from the picture, you can make it from here itself, that the hazardous waste, the one that is very much dangerous for our health, you can see it is just, if it is not properly kept, it is not stored properly, then it can leak out also, and it is very dangerous, and it is polluting your soil. It can kill the um, animals and the other microorganisms, important microorganisms of the soil. Also it can cause pollution in the sense that it can seep through the soil and then damage the underground water table also, thereby entering our water bodies as well. So all these are the um problems that arises because of unsafe storage of hazardous waste and chemicals. Now let's see about land pollution once again, little bit a type of recapitulation we are doing. Okay, so land pollution, as we discussed, that it is caused by many things, right? And the one of the primary factor is your agriculture, because when fertilizers are used, and landfills also, because waste can be hazardous, that is what we discussed. Effect of land pollution, it can sometimes be very dangerous also. It can lead to death of the people also, and they affect the environment and our health, like all the different types of pollution. The two types of pollution we had learned in previous class, land and your water and your air pollution, and both was causing uh, problem to our health. They can also cause cancer and pollution such as water pollution. And also in order to solve the problem of the land pollution, what we can do is we can reduce use of trash and recycle more often. So recycling, we have three important R's that we talk about nowadays, that is reduce, reuse and recycle. So this can be followed in order to decrease your land pollution. We are going to have a look at the factors influencing soil pollution in short. The main factors are the increased rate of soil erosion upon major land use. So, excessive use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, insecticides, and herbicides, polluted wastewater from the industrial and urban areas. So, if wastewaters are uh, like if the wastewaters coming from industries and urban areas are being used, then it is also causing your soil pollution. A few microorganisms, forest fire, dumping of urban and industrial solid waste, waterlogging and related capillary process, leaching process, and drought conditions. So these are the factors influencing your soil pollution. Now the effects of soil pollution or your land pollution. So till now we were discussing about the sources. What are the sources or what are the factors that are causing your land pollution? Now we are going to discuss the effects. So what will happen when your land is polluted? So the first and foremost thing is that it can cause respiratory problems like the asthma attack. So firstly, if the land pollution is happening, and because of land pollution we can face respiratory problems related to our respiratory system, like the asthma attacks and all. Next is it can cause your diseases of the skin and some neuromuscular blockage and rashes as well. So your body may have to face such different diseases as well. It can cause cancer of the lung and also may damage our kidneys. It can also cause developmental damage in case of your children. It can harm or destroy the ecosystem. So this is very much important, because it's obviously that if land is polluted, obviously it is going to disturb the ecosystem, because you know that in the ecosystem different spheres, the biosphere, the hydrosphere, everything is very very important. And if your land is getting polluted, obviously the ecosystem will be disbalanced. And the last one is causing water pollution and harm nature's animal. So this is also very much true. Like if a particular land is polluted, so and the garbages are lying here and there, the animals won't be able to survive there. They are not going to like they will be unable to stay there. Also the land pollution, as you had seen in the very first slide, the pictures. So if you are if you have if you see the waste are being dumped here and there is piles and piles and heaps of waste here and there. So obviously it is going to cause harm to the nature, not just in terms of your land pollution, but also in some way it will be causing damage to the water bodies also, because you had studied under water pollution that there is marine dumping also, because of which your water is getting polluted. So this is the solid waste that is getting dumped in the water bodies also. And you know that underneath the, like in any water body, at the lowermost part you will find the soil, the bed area of the water body, right? So that is the soil only. So in a way it is right related to your land pollution. Okay. Okay, here is a chart, or rather a picture showing you the causes and effects. The causes are industrial waste, bad soil management, fuel leakage, and the effects are decrease in soil fertility, soil erosion, and toxic dust. So you can see industrial waste. So the waste coming from the industry, maybe the solid waste that is coming from the industries, this is causing a soil pollution. Bad soil management, meaning that the soil is not properly managed, in the sense like the waste are not managed properly, because of which your soil pollution is being caused. And fuel leakage, as we discussed under your improper management or improper like no proper uh, storage of the hazardous waste and chemicals. Under that, we had seen that some of the picture we had seen that some of the barrels were just lying here and there, leading to leakage of some fuel. So that is polluting the soil. So that is also one of the causes. And under effects, we see 3 points, that is decreasing soil fertility, soil erosion, and toxic dust. This means that the soil fertility of uh, the soil fertility, sorry, it decreases because your soil is getting polluted because of your industrial waste, because of your fuel leakage. So for soil fertility will obviously decrease, and also due to some poor agricultural practices as well. Next is soil erosion. As this continues for a if it continues for a long period of time, obviously the soil will get eroded because the quality is getting decreased, and also the upper part of the soil in the upper part of the soil we will not be finding the this thing the microorganisms or the important insects and all, leading to that soil getting uh, bad in its quality, and it will be somehow unfit for the survival of plants and animals alike. So because of that, once the animals and plants will be unable to survive in that particular area, then obviously the soil will get eroded. There will be drought conditions as well. And then third one is your toxic dust. So um, the land, if it is like unfit for the growth of plants and unfit for the animals and microorganisms to live, then obviously the like soil will get eroded away, and the dust will be like going here and there, and that dust obviously it is polluted, the soil is polluted, so that dust is also toxic. So these are some of the causes and the effects of your soil pollution. Now we have already learned about the causes and the effects. Now we will see how we can prevent, how we can try to stop the pollution of our land. Firstly, the septic tanks for the treatment of domestic sewage, proper sewage disposal should be done. So the septic tanks should be prepared, like a hole must be dug and the septic tanks must be prepared, so that uh, the sewage that is coming out from our home is not being released into the land or a water body just like that, okay, untreated. It should be kept in the septic tank in a particular area. The second one is the treatment and disposal of industrial effluents. So as we had seen in water pollution also, that the industries, what they do, the waste that is coming out from their from the industries in the form of water or say the solid waste, it was thrown outside only, the water being released to the water body directly without getting treated, and even the solid waste was just lying outside or somewhere they are taking just like that only without proper treatment. This should not be done. It should be treated properly. Whatever radioactive or harmful substances are there in the solid waste, or if the water is being like come if the water is coming out from the factories, which needs to be treated first and then only it should be released into the water bodies. So this should be done. Next one is modern disposal methods for application of waste on land. Now this should be done, like how to like facilitate proper disposal of your waste, solid waste especially, that should be planned out, and it should be done in an extensive way. People must be made aware of this fact that the solid waste is a bigger problem in our area right now. Separation of each waste for recycling, and this is very much important as we were talking about the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. So the things that can be reused can be like we all undergo many activities, right, where we are using the old things to make something new. Even what we do sometimes, that the things, the clothes that we are wearing, right, so sometimes we donate it if the condition of the clothes is good, so we go and donate somewhere, right. So what is happening at that point of time is that we are giving our clothes for like in the donation, right? So it will be of use for somebody else. In this way you see that the cloth that I had wore once is given to someone else, and that person is also getting the cloth, and also I don't need to throw it here and there in the form of garbage. So this is helping us in reducing the pollution of land. Also things that can be recycled like the papers and all, it can be always recycled. So we can like whenever the people who comes to take the papers and all at our home, they buy right in the rate of like in kgs rate. So we give them the papers and all that is there at our home. Why do we do this? Because it can be recycled, and if we are going to like give them, then we will be reducing land pollution in a very large extent, because the papers have been thrown outside and it is littering the ground, it is littering the roads here and there. So this can also be done. These are some of the ways in which we can prevent land pollution. Now the key health problems that is caused by land pollution, here we are going to see what are the uh, health problems that is happening to us as a result of your land pollution. So it says that since the impact of land pollution, uh, they are the direct impact of land pollution are the air pollution and the water pollution. So the health problems that is caused by land pollution are similar as those of air pollution and water pollution. And along with the health problems that comes to us because of air pollution and water pollution, in addition to that, we also have increased human injuries. From what? From the syringes, as I told you about the medical waste, right? So syringes, broken glass and cans washing onto riverbanks and beaches. So if you have ever visited a beach, then you might have seen that when the waves are like coming and going, then sometimes it is bringing the pieces of clothes, or sometimes they are bringing the fruits that is being thrown in the sea, right? Or it has been disposed from somewhere and the water has brought it along when it is flowing. So this happens, the things are getting dumped into the water body, as we had discussed under water pollution in marine dumping, that things are being dumped into the water body, thereby causing problems. Okay, so these are the key health problems. Here you can see in this slide there are some facts that you need to know. It shows how long does it take for a garbage to decompose. So you can see how our mother earth is very much sad, taking all the weight of the waste that we are producing. So you can see the food waste, it takes 1 month to decompose. Wooden boards up to 2 years, paper up to 2 years, car battery up to 100 years, rubber tires up to 100 years, polyethylene up to 200 years, aluminium cans up to 500 years, the glass over 1000 years, plastic bottles 100 years, batteries also up to 100 years, bricks, concrete up to 100 years, the cans up to 90 years, iron up to 10 years, and old shoes up to 10 years. So you can see how long it takes to decompose such garbages. But the amount that we are like creating, this is so intense. That is why our earth is getting polluted more and more. It is filled with waste everywhere, because it is because the amount of waste that we are producing is not getting enough time to decompose, and that is why the things are getting piled up more and more. The point here to remember is, due to land pollution, our earth loses approximately 25 billion tons of valuable topsoil each year. So due to land pollution, the topsoil is getting degraded every year, around 25 billion tons. So because of this, we are facing a lot of problem, like drought conditions are being seen, desert areas are more now, right? So all the problems are arising because of land pollution. So we need to be very much careful when we are using things, when we are disposing our waste, and we should try to follow the 3 R's that we have been talking, that is reduce, reuse, and recycle. So with this we will end this topic, and we are going to move to the next topic, noise pollution, in the next class. Thank you, children.